This MFL MarMac Coach Conversation brought to you by Havlicek Trucking, Meyer Auto Service, and Birdnow Chevrolet. We're with head coach Dan Anderson. Winners in the first round were the Bulldogs 24-21 over Burnett. You were trailing at halftime, but eventually got the job done. Coach, what got it done in the second half?
We were able to wear them down. That's kind of what we do. We've got a big physical offensive line, and teams that have kids that go both ways, and that happens a lot in small school ball and 1A and 2A football. A lot of our offensive linemen don't have to go both ways, but some other teams do. And so, we just stuck with the plan. We never panic, and yeah, we were down 14-10 at halftime, and then we just kept pounding the ball, and those 4, 5, 6 yard runs started turning into 8, 10, 12 yard runs, and we were able to really win the time of possession and score twice there in the second half and take control of the game. And we got a little hairy at the end there when we fumbled once, and then they scored on their 2-minute drill and did an onside, but we recovered it and were able to kneel it down and won 24-21.
And your offensive line must have done that good job, as you just alluded to. 296 yards on the ground, 5.3 yards a pop. I know those are the numbers that make you smile.
They are, and Albernett's got a good squad. I mean, there's nobody left playing football that's not a good football team. They're in the playoffs for a reason, and Alburnett their only losses had come to ranked teams. They've got some really good linebackers on their team, and they were aggressive. So were their defensive backs, and they were putting 9 guys up there near the line of scrimmage. But the thing is even though teams try to crowd the box, we were able to hit a lot of different spots on the field. We could hit any gap with pretty much any one of our guys. And, we only threw the ball a few times on Friday night, and it looked like Army football, but that's what wins for us. And I guess some people might say that our style is unappealing or boring, but I guess what's boring about winning, and that's what I was hired to do, is win and turn a program around, and we do it a lot. So, I know we don't throw the ball a lot, but we win a lot, and our offensive line is a huge part of that. And they take pride in what they do, and they don't always get their names in the paper, but we wouldn't be where we're at every year without a great offensive line, and so those guys deserve the credit where credit is due.
And in the postseason, you need your veterans and your seniors to step up. And it looked like Quinn McHugh definitely did that. 187 yards, 2 touchdowns, also on defense, 6 tackles, 3 of them solos, had an interception as well. What made Quinn rise to the occasion last Friday night?
Well, I mean, he's just a great athlete. Attention to detail. He's a student of the game. He knows what's going on. He watches a lot of film. He's very coachable. He understands situations and what teams want to do. And he's like another coach out there on the field. And so he always makes sure that guys are in the right position. He's a 3-year starter. So, I mean, just a great athlete out there. I mean, I think he's an all-state football player, and he leads the district in rushing. It's 1,200 yards now, and like 14 or 16 touchdowns or something like that. So, just a great athlete. And the nice thing is, though, is we can get the ball to some other guys and don't have to give it to Quinn. Quinn carried the load on Friday night, but Eli Hansen is having a great season, and Carter Stoddard, our quarterback, although he doesn't throw it a lot, he's got, I think, 7 or 8 rushing touchdowns in the year too. So maybe we don't, use Stoddard so much in the passing game as our quarterback, but he does a phenomenal job running the ball, running our offense, and making great fakes and carrying out great fakes. So, our seniors they stepped up on Friday night, and I can start to feel that sense of urgency by our guys. It's a different feeling, and I think that's a good thing.
And you make the bus trip down to Wilton this Friday night. What have you been able to muster up about them?
Well, they're 8-1. They're a ranked team. They're really good. They're dynamic on offense. They're very balanced. I think they've rushed for around 1,600 yards, and they've passed for 1,600. So they don't have any tendencies that we've found yet. They can about 50-50, first down, second down, third down. So defensively, we have to play our positions and read our keys well, because they don't have a big tendency to like to run on first down or anything like that. They'll throw it on third and 2, or and they'll run the ball on second and 9. So it's hard to tell what they're going to do. They've got a lot of good athletes. They just got a good system. I mean, we've got a system that's completely different than their system, but it's obvious watching film that they're really good at what they do. They stretch the field vertically. They stretch the field horizontally. They run screens, lots of them. They run reverses. They run, they run zone blocking, and they also have some gap blocking schemes. And so it's going to be a real challenge for us to go on the road and to beat a really good Wilton team. But our kids are ready and they're excited, and we've been in this position many a times in the last 5 years, and we've fared well on the road. So we're not concerned about having a letdown on the road. It's just we're going against a really good football team, and that's going to present some challenges.
With that balanced of an offense that you're facing, how difficult of a team are they to prepare for?
They're really, I'll be honest, they're really difficult, to prepare for because, there's no formation. I mean, pretty much, they run, 12 or 13 different formations, and, they'll run the ball and throw the ball equally out of them. They've got a lot of plays that look the same. They'll run a screen, like a wide receiver screen multiple times, bait you, and then, one of those guys that's blocking on the screen, one of those receivers will stutter step, and then he'll go up the seam, and they'll take a shot downfield. They've got a good running back who's a multi-year starter, and they're a senior-dominated team. And so these guys, they're solid all around. I wouldn't say they've got any one guy that's a superstar, but they've just got a lot of really good all-district football player type kids that all can beat you. And so it is very difficult to prepare for them. So it's not really, if you see this formation, expect this is coming, because that's not the case this week. It's just play your position, use the techniques that we've taught you, to try to stop their favorite plays, because there's not too many teams we play other than maybe a walk-on that run this many different formations and different plays and shifts. And very, very multi-dimensional on offense, which presents a lot of challenges.
And you do have a 2.5-hour bus ride coming up on Friday night. How do you manage that bus ride? Because it's the longest one you've had this year, and you want to keep your kids as fresh as possible.
Sure. So anytime you're going to take a long bus ride like this, we will get out, earlier than normal. I mean, we don't want to get down to Wilton at, 5:50 and get off the bus and, tell them to quick, use the bathroom quick and get your stuff on. We're going. It's, no, we're going to stop halfway. We always, a week ahead of time or more, once we find out who we're going to play, we find a good spot, a park or fairgrounds or something that has some bathrooms. We'll have sandwiches for the guys. I mean, not too much food, but, get something in their belly, get them stretch off the bus, toss the ball around, both physically and mentally break up the trip a little bit. And, let them talk a little bit on the way down. I'm not too strict about the first half of the ride, but once we get a break down there, we'll stop down by Monticello somewhere and get them off the bus for a half an hour or so, 25 minutes, eat a little something, stretch. And, once we get back on the bus, then, shouldn't be able to hear a mouse fart. It's so quiet in there on the rest of the bus ride down and get ready to go. So I'm confident in our guys. I mean, we know it's going to be a challenge, and our kids know it's going to be a challenge. But, we respect Wilton and what they've done the last couple of years, but our kids are not intimidated, and our kids are excited about the opportunities as well as our coaches. And hopefully our fans travel down there well, and they have traveled well all year. And hopefully we can bring back a victory and get to the quarterfinals for a 6th straight year.
All right. Hopefully that quarterfinal streak can continue this week. It'll be a tough challenge, but you guys have met those tough challenges in the past many a times. Keep your kids healthy. We wish best of luck. Let's have another chat next week, Coach.
I hope so. Thanks, Darren.
Dan Anderson, head coach of the MFL MarMac Bulldogs, brought to you by Birdnow Chevrolet, Havlicek Trucking, and Meyer Auto Service.